And this is the reason that the LG Stylo 4 is a bargain basement Galaxy Note, but we love it. The link for this video will be in the description. So let's talk about it. 2018, happy Labor Day. I want you guys to think for 1 second. Why are phones so high? And let's not forget to think about that phones are getting higher. And the reason they're getting higher is because it's working. If you look at the top tier phones that's been released in the last 3 years, most recent, the Galaxy Note 9, $999, which is $1,000, all the way up to $1,200. Probably more expensive in other places. The iPhone X, $1,000. So, and there are other phones out there, I'm quite sure, right at $1,000 or close to. It's working. So they will increase, I'm sorry to say this, the prices of a lot of flagship phones because it's working. They sold so many iPhone X. It was not the greatest iPhone sold, but they sold so many that of course they can stay right there at that price range. They sold so many Galaxy Note 8 and Note 9 series that they're going to continue on. But jot this down: the LG Stylo costs 1/4 the price of the other stylus equivalent. So here's a picture of the Stylo 4, and we're going to talk about how you can save some money and why the LG Stylo 4 has completely changed the game. The LG Stylo 4 is a status-enabled phone looking to fill the void left in anyone's life who can afford the Galaxy Note 8. Whether or not it succeeds, up to you. But we fell in love with this scrappy device despite its obvious shortcomings. It would be ridiculous to compare a budget phone to the soon to be released, well, already released Note 8. A welcome return to obscene specs. The LG Stylo 4, on the other hand, tickles the opposite end of the spectrum. Its specs make it one of the last in line to be considered mid-tier. Personally, I call it the top of the low tier in some areas. Battery, RAM, and bottom of the mid-tier in others. USB-C screen size. But since there aren't a plethora of stylus equipped phones out there, let's bring out the one statistic that works in the Stylo's 4 favor. It only costs $299. If you purchase an Amazon Prime exclusive edition, you get it unlocked and $50 cheaper. That's a great discount considering all you're giving up in exchange and some real estate on your phone to Amazon apps that you can either remove or disable. The Note 9 would set you back a bit more. As you can see the picture of the Note 9, that is $1,000. And like I was telling you, 512 gigabytes is $1,200. For that price, you could buy 4 stylos and keep a few backups. Or better yet, buy a Stylo 4 and spend your leftover cash on a bunch of other cool gadgets. But before you do, let's talk about the Stylo 4 on its own merit. Here's the specifications. 6.2 full high definition with full vision display, Qualcomm Snapdragon 450, 1.8 gigahertz, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, expandable via micro SD, 3300 milliamp, non-removable with USB Type-C, fast charging, 13 megapixel rear, 5 megapixel front, fingerprint sensor, stylus pen, headphone jack, Android 8.1. This is mostly an average performer as far as the specifications go. It'll play music, video, and most games without issue. There are other similar price options among Amazon Prime exclusive phones in the LG Q6 and Motorola Moto X. The QX is a bit underwhelming in comparison, and the Moto X, while more powerful, has smaller screen. And the Stylo 4 is the only Prime exclusive phone with a stylus. Okay, and let's look at the Stylo style. Okay, right there you can see it. Okay, it's a great looking phone, to say the least. It's a gorgeous phone as long as you're looking at it from the front or on the sides. But if you turn it over, you're treated to a shiny plastic back with a slight texture graphic that makes the phone look cheaper than what it is. The bezels are so tiny, I double checked it to make sure I had the correct unit. A $250 phone usually doesn't have a screen this big or bezels this small. Just buy a case to cover the back. Absolutely. It only comes in black, my least favorite color for a phone, but I won't hold that against it since it's pretty much industrial standard. The headphone jack is impressive. USB charging port. Let's see what else here. You can continue the rest of this article just by pressing the link. The stylus, this is what I want everyone to hear about. The stylus is a great idea because this phone has a lot of real estate. The screen is only 2/10 of an inch smaller than the Note. That's pretty big for a budget device. Any smaller and you would be hard pressed to enjoy jotting notes with a pen, which may be why you don't find inexpensive phones built in styluses very often. Luckily, the Stylo 4's stylus functions quite well. It feels good in your hand and great on the screen. It's not perfect by any means. Though LG managed to make the software work flawlessly, you can customize what happens when you unselect the stylus, making it a breeze to wipe it out and access any app or shortcut you choose. Using the pen works fine. What's not so great is the design of the pen in regards to the slot it fits in. There's another look at it. Beautiful phone. Who is this for? Big question. That's a $64,000 question, or at least the $250 one. If you want a phone that comes with its own stylus, but you don't feel like shelling out $1,000 or more, then this is the phone you're looking for. Sure, you get an older model Note, but the Note 8 still costs at least twice as much as the new Stylo 4. You could get an older model Note, and the Note 7 was discontinued for being a risk of causing fire or shake. The LG Stylo 4 is a good phone as long as you're not a power user who needs a top-notch processor. This phone is perfect for your everyday use and great for taking notes or just doodling during your meetings. Plus, if you're a neurotic mess, you'll enjoy finding out you don't have to clean your screen every 50 times a day if you're using a stylus for everything. Love this phone. It punches up and tries something that most manufacturers seems to be afraid of. No, it doesn't compete with Samsung's flagship Note 9. Don't be silly, but most of us don't need that much phone, and certainly not at the Note's price. So, sticking with the LG 4, it's a stylus-equipped phone for the rest of us. You can get your LG Stylo 4 Prime exclusive edition on Amazon right now. Now, let's go back to something that I want to say very briefly. Here's a picture of the stylus. Now, I was telling a lot of people that you basically have to look at the LG Stylo series as a complete Note ripoff, if you want to call it that, because every feature they just about have on the Stylo has been stole from the Note series, and I'm fine with it. Everybody's fine with that because that's what it's supposed to be, something for people that can't afford the Note. So we know that phones are going to get higher as the years process, as technology advances. They're not going to get cheaper because flagships are taking it up, and it works. Because if people wouldn't have bought the $1,000 iPhone X and the Note 9s and Note 8s, maybe they would have stuck around budget range, but price of phones will increase. So we need to be thankful for phones like the LG Stylo series. The Z Max, I don't know what's going on with that, but that was another great budget phone for people. If you haven't heard of the Z Max, Google it. It was a great price. They had one for $100 that was just probably the best budget phone of all time, to be honest. But this is definitely top 5 budget of all time, the Stylo series. Like this video, leave your comments, and subscribe later.